What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to the Warframe video. We're going to be finishing up the loadout for the new war today, going over the Necramech and Railjack, also Archwing guns. Thank you for all the support in the previous video, and yeah, it's going to be this one's going to be shorter today because it's just the Railjack and the Necramech. If you didn't know this, you do need to have a Railjack and a Necramech to play the new war when it comes on the 15th. And if you don't have one already, they are purchasable for Platinum nowadays, and DE also did make it more easy to obtain Necramechs recently. I'd say my personal recommendation to you is to go with Void Rig all the way. Bonewidow is a lot more niche. It's more of like a melee brawler kind of Necromech, where its abilities are about close range combat. The Void Rig, this has been tested and true for many different types of sentient troops, Orphics, sentient generic troops, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to go over the Void Rig build today, and we're going to go over a Railjack build as well. So let's just show a little bit of this Void Rig gameplay in the Sentient Anomaly real quick, and I'm going to talk about what mods I've chosen and what Archwing gun I've chosen here. So the Archwing gun that we have chosen to use is the Kuva Grappler, and the reason I'm using the Kuva Grappler is because it's actually like a really big AoE for a shot compared to like something like the Mausolon. Now the Mausolon, if you have a Necromech and you got the Mausolon, and you don't feel like grinding out the Kuva Grappler, don't grind the Kuva Grappler. The Mausolon is still like a top tier weapon. Even like as far as primaries are concerned, it's very, very powerful. Even with the extremely weak Archwing gun mods we have, if you think about it, like there's no Bane mods for Archwing guns. There's no good multi-shot mods, no galvanized mods, anything like that. So let's show the build here. Now you might notice like, hey, you're not jumping very high. There's a couple things in this Necromech build that are going to be personal preference. The things I modded for on this Necromech build are mobility and tankiness, as well as a little bit of ability stats. So let's go over the build here. But there's the Kuva Grappler right there. It's level 31. The main reason I'm using this is because I have a 59.3% toxin roll, which is the elemental I'd recommend to you for Sentience. It's the weak to corrosive. But for the Necromech build, we've got a full build here, 6 mods. If you don't have these mods, here's a easy Necromech build with health, shield, and basically sprint speed. This will work. This will probably be good enough for the new war, honestly, guys. So, but we're going to show the full build here. We're going to go over all the mods and what they do. So, as far as engine mods, I find engine mods pretty important. We've got Necromech Efficiency for engine efficiency. We've got Necromech Thrusters for increased engine max, so it gives us more engine pool. Necromech Slipstream lets you basically sprint faster. It's pretty much sprint speed. And Necromech Friction lets you sprint for longer. So, we have 4 mods involving our engine here. This is for just from personal experience of playing other like Necromech game modes. Moving from one objective to the next actually is pretty important, so being high speed is also pretty good. You could technically just void dash across the map and then resummon your Necromech, which I've done here, which is why I've taken off the jump speed. I'll void dash the next level and then resummon my Necromech. That's my personal preference to you guys, but I went with this really high engines as I like running around as a Necromech, to be honest. Alright, so as far as ability mods, we've got Necromech Flow, Necromech Streamline, and Necromech Intensify. Now, I don't think you really need Intensify, to be honest, because the 4th ability for this Void Rig does like millions of damage already. But, you know, what else are you going to put in that slot? There's other choices for sure, but nothing I'm finding too important. So I'm going to go with Intensify in there just in case we do more damage for some hilarious reason. Intensify. And then Streamline and Flow is just so you can stay in your 4th ability, the Archobex, for longer. Because, energy max and ability efficiency. That's just how it works. You could technically put Continuity on here for slightly less drain as well on the 4th ability, then maybe replace Intensify with that, but I don't think that's going to really matter as much. And as far as tank mods on here, we've got Vitality for increased health, Steel Fiber for increased armor, and the reason we're not running a shield mod is because we actually have Necromac Rage on here. It's like the Warframe mod Rage. When you take health damage, you get energy back. So if we had a shield mod, it would make it longer to get to our shield. Not to mention the shield mod is a 14 drain, so it's kind of hard to fit on this build. Unless you might actually need a form again to fit that on here. So don't need to go for redirection. It does give you a good chunk of extra shield if you want to run it. So it's gonna be up to you guys if you want to be more tanky. Because remember, if your Necromech dies in mission, you need to resummon it. And it also has a cooldown time, so that might be kind of rough to some people. And as far as the last couple of mods, we've got quality of life mods in the form of enemy sense. So this gives me enemy radar while I'm in Necromech. Makes it very nice for, shooting an enemy behind a wall with your AoE gun, or just seeing where a sentient is flying above you that you weren't looking up there. Pretty important mod here, but not necessary at all. And then the last mod is Necromac Repair. You could pretty much call it a tank mod. When you are low health, you will start restoring health, and it has a 15-second cooldown. So you also become briefly invincible as well when that state comes up. So that can help you just be very, very survivable. 15 seconds is a pretty short cooldown for a powerful effect like this. So I've been enjoying this build quite a bit. Now, like I said, the one thing I might switch out, depending on, how I'm feeling, is going to be actually jump height. Because jump height from Necromac Hydraulics is going to help you basically go up that extra level. Like you saw in the Sentient Anomaly. I couldn't jump up that next level. This is going to fix that. So you probably just put that in this slot right here. Or maybe take out Necromac Friction and just, take out Necromac Friction, put that there, and then there you go. It's the same build, but now you can jump higher and you can dash for slightly less time. So it's going to be up to you guys. It's really not that big of a deal. Like I said, this build right here is going to work perfectly fine. So let's move on to the Arcwing gun. Now, I said it's pretty much just an AoE gun. I think it's like a pretty big AoE explosion when you fire this off. Yeah, it's got 9 range. So this will nuke down multiple sentients at once. Keep in mind that this is an overkill build for sure. As it's a cool weapon, we have 5 Forma on here. It's not even fully leveled yet. But yeah, just go for Corrosive pretty much. You could go for Corrosive Cold if you felt like there was going to be possibly some shielded sentients, because Cold's pretty good against shields. But yeah, just pretty standard. Got a fire rate, crit damage, plus recoil riven. It helps a little bit, I guess, but that's just because Arcwing gun mods are so weak. As you can see right here, dual rounds is only 60% multi-shot. Hollow bullets is 80% crit damage. And our really low 0.5 Dispel Riven has 58% crit damage. So these mods are very weak. At least we got a primed one, right? So yeah, you can make a corrosive build work. Let's show the Mazelon real quick when I use the Mazelon, because like I said, that's a fine replacement to this. And whatever Arcwing gun you like, honestly. So Mazelon, it comes with the Void Rig, so you probably have this. And it's pretty much the exact same build, to be honest. We've got Corrosive Heat, sure. Because this thing has base heat, so might as well put the heat mod on there just so you don't mess with your elementals. Alright, moving on to the Exalted Necromac Gun. This one is also just pretty much just make number go up. As you can see right here, we've got 253,000 damage per shot with the radial attack with a 6 range and no damage fall off, hilariously. So just go for Corrosive, so the Sentients are weak to Corrosive, and Cold, as some Sentients might have shields. And Heat's not really gonna, it's not gonna matter if you have Heat, to be honest. So yeah, pretty standard stuff here. Now, don't put Critical Focus on here, as you do not ADS with this gun, the Arcobex. This is the Exalted Necromac Fourth ability. You do not ADS with this thing, so don't put this mod on here. A lot of the other ones not going to really matter as much either. The biggest problem with the Necromac is like basically the long cast animation to get in your fourth ability. Let's see if we can hop into the capture right here. Can I show you what I'm talking about? We'll go to Fortuna, and we'll show the build we just put on there with less slide efficiency, as the Fortuna capture scene is Giganto. I meant the Orbalis. Fortuna is the town, Orbalis is the open world. That's going to be very important in the lore, guys, trust me. And we're going to move on to the Railjack build to finish off the video after this. Like I said, if you want to run Bonewidow, I mean, be my guest. I don't see it being very useful. I expect us to have to fight 1 or 2 Orphixes during this story quest. Also, guys, something very useful to do is to set your Necromac summoning button as a separate key. So you just press it. I pushed equal key. That's the button I have to summon it out, and there you go. I don't have to mess with the gear wheel or anything like that. I can be jumping around, just press it mid-combat, summon it immediately. So that's something that can be very useful to you. Alright, so let's just see how far we can dash with the current build we have. As you can see, we are very speedy. We're missing one of the slide mods I'd like to have, but we're still covering some good ground here. And now that we have the jump height mod, we can jump pretty high as well. See if we can jump up to that cliff. Yep. See, without the jump height mod, you'd probably be reaching about half of that. So jump height can be very, very important depending on your playstyle. But like I said, since I have that button set to summon Necromac, I can move faster than Necromac, resummon it wherever I want to. Apparently, except up here. And have better mobility that way while also having that slide mod that I do enjoy. So, you might be like, I don't really need that slide mod, and just go with the jump height mod then. All right, let's start going over the Railjack, and then we can also briefly talk about the crew. Let me just tell you, my crew is not like overly min-maxed for the new war specifically. My elite crew members are min-maxed for speed clearing normal Railjack missions. So we're going to go to the dry dock, and we are going to investigate this build. Now, something you do want to keep in mind. We don't really know exactly what sentient cruise ships are going to be like. We've encountered sentient troops, or sentient space fighters once in the Scarlet Spear, and I don't really remember if they had any special attacks. It was we did, to be honest, during the Scarlet Spear, we didn't even really fight those. We didn't even fight the fighters. We just kind of parked our ship inside of the Murex and just let them not do anything. So yeah, we'll have to see if cruise ships. But I think that cruise ships will still be stunnable by Blackout Pulse. So we're gonna make this brief, as I do have a full video guide going over the best ship parts, and we're not really deviating much from that in this video. So Vidar shield plating, a good one with the special passive of every 10 seconds we will shock enemies within 50 meters. I just think that's kind of cool. As far as other options for shield passives, you could get this one where Railjack damage increased while shields are depleted, or something like this where energy cost used on battle mods is converted to shields, like basically auger mods for shield gating. Levant engines are the fastest technically just because we don't have any boost charge fuel to bottleneckles anymore, so I'd recommend going for these. And the other ones, it's really up to you guys. Your ship is your own, but these are technically the fastest Levant engines. Levant plating, I think, has technically the best EHP with 6,000 health and 2688 armor. Very specific number there. It's whatever you have, guys. Just make sure it's Mark III. And Zekti Reactor, I'm going with the blue one just because strength and range is fun. Makes my Seeker Volley do more damage. Makes my Blackout Pulse easier to hit. Makes my Shatter Burst potentially hit more stuff. If you don't think that the range or the strength is important, there's other options such as duration and strength or range and duration. There's also the Mark II versions, as these have higher specific stats, but no special passive and no secondary stats. So you can get 80% range with the red one, 80% duration with the green one, and I think the blue one is 80% strength. So it's really up to you guys, whatever you have. Reactors aren't as important as back in the day. And this is the same as the Corpus video. We've got the Zekti Photor for shooting through shields. If the Sentients for some reason are not, this does not work on them, you can switch to something else, definitely. Some of my other favorites are the Photor. Actually, I heard the Photor equipped. The Pulsar I like. I also like the what is that one? God, these names are so hard to remember. The Carcinox, the Toxin one, I like this one too. But we'll have to see. Puncture damage is technically good against the Sentients, but this one has heat and puncture already, and it shoots through shields, so I'm pretty happy with that one. And for the crew members, we have the Zekti Talon. It's going to be a heat laser beam, very good for knocking out multiple fighters very quickly. There's also the Pulsar, which is a hit scan weapon with electric and puncture. Might be better against Sentients technically than the heat one, but we got what we have equipped. And usually I'm going to recommend Zekti guns, and whatever gun you're going for, get the Zekti version, because Zekti is just pretty much better all around. Unfortunately, I don't know why they did that, but that's what it is. And Tycho Seeker is the only option. Galvarak and Maladi are trash. All right, going over the actual Railjack build here. We've got nothing too crazy, to be honest. The one big flex slot, for me at least, is this cruising speed slot where you could put maybe something like artillery cheap shots, so you don't waste all your artillery shots, potentially. Revel Reducer is also an option if you want to use less of the Revelite to fix your ship. But yeah. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. Very turret focused, as the crew members are aimbots and will blast on the fighters very, very fast. Predator for crit chance for the turrets. Section density for crit damage for the turrets. We've got protective shots, and we've also got Crimson Fuji and Hyperstrike. So Crimson Fuji gives us increased damage every time a fighter dies for 8 seconds, up to 5 stacks. And that also counts to your crew members. Hyperstrike just gives you overall turret damage. Protective shots, 30% turret damage when shields are above 75%. And then we've also got Sentinel Scalpel. This will give you increased turret damage versus Sentients. So basically, if my crew members see the Sentients should be dead. We've also got this one right here, Fortifying Fire. Replenish 3% of your shields on critical hit. This protective shots could be a pretty decent synergy combo where you're getting crits to increase your shields, replenish your shields, and when you get the full shields again, you're doing increased turret damage. You could potentially run those together, but I'm going to go for speed with ion burn and cruising speed, just because I like going fast. All right, and as far as battle mods, these don't really change much, because we don't really have many good options, to be honest. So Blackout Pulse is, like I said, this will probably stun Sentient cruise ships still, and it's very, very good. So just stun them and make it very easy to shoot them with the forward artillery. So your other options here are Countermeasures and Munitions Vortex. Munitions Vortex is very outdated and very slow, and Countermeasures I've literally never used before, but it will distract enemy guided projectiles, which I'm sure is what you wanted. All right, the middle one is going to be Shatter Burst. Maybe you could try another one. Like, we don't really know that we'll need Shatter Burst for the Sentient stuff yet, but this is usually very good for multiple weak points you need to blow up. The other options are going to be Tether, which is the old meta, which basically debuffs enemies so they take more damage, and Particle Ram, which is a really good one, but I'm not sure if we'll need it. So Shatter Burst might be replaced, just depending on what I'm thinking will be important. But I'm thinking we're going to stick with this for now. And then Secret Volley is the easiest choice because the other ones are not very useful. Void Hole's radius is really tiny nowadays. With a maxed out range reactor, it's looking like 140. Maybe it might go to 160 if you have like the min-maxed one. But yeah, 140 with this, and the damage is 320 per second. Then Phoenix Blaze, this will chew through your energy like crazy, but it will give you a speed increase if you're interested in that. Secret Volley is really good for clearing out fighters everywhere, just in case my crew members haven't taken them out yet. Now we're going to briefly go over the Intrinsics and the crew members. Intrinsics, everything maxed. Besides this middle one, because it makes the turrets take longer to cool down. So, yeah, everything maxed besides Gunner, go to 9 Gunner. And then crew members, like I said, this is not min-maxed at all, but I'll show you what I have. So, my first on-call crew member is Lux Opcha. Let's see what ability he's got. And he is an elite crew member with 50% Zekti turret damage. Pretty much a god roll. He's got 5 Gunner, 3 repair, 5 combat, and 2 piloting. So he's got a Kuvazar. He's also my on-call crew member. So I can summon this guy in a mission with his 5 combat. He will do crazy damage with the Kuvazar and blast enemies away. He also has the extra just equipped in the past too. So Zekti turret damage, very important for just nuking stuff down even faster than usual. I believe Lego Larry is not an elite crew member, but I did get an elite crew member recently. I was going to replace Lego Larry with. Is it this one right here? Yep. Okay, here. So we have a pilot with 5 Gunner and 5 piloting with 25% Levon engine speed. Now here's the thing. I bought this crew member just because it had good stats, but I'm still never going to give these crew members the steering wheel for my ship. I'm much better at driving this ship than they are, and I just don't trust the AI in this game at all. But this technically is pretty much a god roll of the pilot. You can maybe give them more endurance to make them so they can take shots in the front pilot seat longer, but yeah, that's what I got. And then, I mean, we technically have Lego Larry equipped right now, but it's not an elite crew member, so yeah. Now look, another god roll gunner over here. We got another god roll gunner with 50% Zekti turret damage and 5 Gunner. This one also has 4 combat, so it should be a pretty good on-call. And then the last one we got right here is not even been trained properly, so we have to train them later. Let's see, let's just do this on the fly. We got Gunner up to 5. I think this guy is a Gunner. Of course, you can always reverse this if you want to. Let's go with, we'll give him some more repair. Sure. And the last guy we got with the Fullman, and let's see what his special passive is before we call it a video. Takushi, he has... Does he also have Zekti? We have everyone with Zekti turret, apparently. So Zekti turret, Zekti turret, Zekti turret. I've got 3 Zekti turret elite crew members, and then 1 Levon engine crew member. So I guess Lego Larry's getting fired after this video. Yeah, as far as weapons you should give to your crew members, Exodus is really good. Kuvazar is really good. AoE weapons, just good weapons in general, are good. I used to give them the Ignis Wraith all the time. That's still also really good. Yeah, Sentient Invaders will be very strong, so you might want to have that combat and endurance stat up quite a bit if you can manage that. As you can see right here, I'm not really min-maxing the combat and endurance, but you know, maybe that will be important to you. Alright guys, that's going to be it for the loadout video. If you have any questions about any of the stuff that I showed in the previous video or this video, let me know in the comments down below. I will try to answer them. And like I said, this is complete overkill. I'm MR31, like, with everything. This is overkill. But this is what we can do right now as we're waiting for the new war to come out. And this might help you potentially, you know, find some new thing you think is really cool and you can mess with it and have some fun in your day, okay? I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy, and thanks for the support. Peace.